The dinner table wasn't a place for food that evening. It became a courtroom. My mother lifted her glass with calculated pride and announced my sister's monthly $5,000 transfers as though she were unveiling a national hero. Chairs scraped, relatives clapped, and smiles turned theatrical. Their celebration wasn't about generosity, it was about status. When every head turned toward me, I understood my position. I wasn't applauded, acknowledged, or even considered. I was merely present, useful in emergencies, invisible in triumphs. The turkey, once appetizing, tasted bitter. Years of favors, errands, and sacrifices evaporated under that single toast. I hadn't lost to my sister. I had never been permitted onto the scoreboard they worshipped. My mother reacted to that monthly transfer as if it were the sole lifeline keeping everyone alive. No one mentioned the winter nights I repaired the roof while rain flooded the living room. No one remembered the envelopes I quietly left when layoffs struck. They forgot the nights I delivered groceries because my parents didn't want neighbors gossiping. Those deeds carried no signatures, no screenshots, no dramatic fanfare. They were acts sourced from loyalty, not spectacle. Watching them toast my sister felt strange, like witnessing strangers rewrite my history. That night clarified something harsh. In this family, kindness isn't acknowledged unless it's public and profitable. My silent support never stacked high enough to become applause-worthy currency. My sister discovered early that attention grants power. She crafted an image online where philanthropy meant hashtags, curated photos, and oversized bows on checks. Each month, she sent money, then uploaded proof disguised as inspiration. My parents became her audience, enchanted by her digital benevolence. They never questioned the loans fueling her generosity or the fees compounding every payment. They admired her without understanding her finances resembled a collapsing tower. I had seen overdue notices on her desk, ignored calls, and desperate texts. Silence protected her illusion. Speaking up would have been dismissed as jealousy. Families prefer cinematic heroes, not complex truths. My sister mastered the role, and the applause drowned any chance of honest reflection. The evening unfolded like a theatrical performance. No one invited me to join. Compliments flew across the table with rehearsed precision, as though someone had distributed lines in advance. My parents repeated phrases that sounded memorized, branding my sister as responsible, successful, indispensable. Their expressions were glowing, rehearsed, unshakable. I wasn't addressed, questioned, or acknowledged beyond providing contrast. My presence existed solely to emphasize her supposed greatness. I watched relatives nod along, oblivious to the hollowness beneath each compliment. Silence wrapped around me like a spotlight, highlighting the role I never signed up for. That night, I stopped feeling like family and started feeling like an understudy condemned to applaud a performance I didn't respect. Dessert plates were cleared when my father leaned closer, voice lowered as though sharing wisdom. "Learn from your sister," he whispered. "She understands pride." His words weren't advice. They were judgment disguised as guidance. He never asked about the contracts I negotiated, the payroll I protected, or the responsibilities I carried. Success, for him, wasn't stability or integrity. It was spectacle. My achievements lacked theatrics, so they were invisible. That comment didn't bruise me. It clarified something irreversible. I wasn't their pride or project. I was a miscalculation. His whisper carried decades of expectation and disappointment. In that moment, I understood their affection had always been conditional, measured by applause, not character. The pedestal they built for my sister collapsed faster than any of them imagined. When her bank froze her account, the illusion evaporated. She arrived at my door, eyes frantic, demanding guidance. Suddenly, I became essential. The same people who once dismissed my accomplishments now begged for direction, terrified of losing their prized narrative. Panic replaced pride. My parents hovered, waiting for me to rescue the daughter they had publicly worshipped. Respect, however, cannot be summoned like a plumber. They hadn't earned my intervention. Watching them scramble exposed the superficial foundation of their admiration. They wanted salvation without accountability. The revelation wasn't her financial ruin, it was their realization of how cheaply they had sold their loyalty. Months passed before my parents learned the truth they had ignored. A thick envelope sat in their mailbox, addressed to them. Inside was a glossy magazine featuring my company on a list of the fastest-growing enterprises in the state. Numbers, achievements, and testimonials filled the pages, real, proven, measurable. Suddenly, their expressions shifted from confusion to discomfort. My mother attempted a smile, claiming she had always believed in me. Her words rang hollow. Pride cannot be retrofitted once trust is cracked. Their applause came too late, like rain after drought, unable to repair what their indifference had eroded. Recognition isn't meaningful when it arrives only after public proof forces acknowledgement. I no longer sit at their table. My dinners are quieter, warmer, and free from comparison. The guests who join me understand struggle, progress, and integrity. They don't clap for transactions, they clap for character. Conversations aren't competitions, and gratitude isn't performed. My family didn't lose me because they celebrated my sister. They lost me when admiration became currency and affection depended on public validation. At my table, applause feels earned, not demanded. I built a space where worth isn't measured by deposits and belonging isn't conditional. The silence they once forced upon me has transformed into peace. Now the recognition I receive isn't borrowed, it's mine, and it finally feels deserved.